Love isn't always loud. Sometimes the deepest feelings hide in silence, hesitation, and the small gestures most people overlook. When it comes to avoidant personalities, their love rarely looks like the movies. No grand confessions, no dramatic gestures. Instead, it shows up quietly, in the way they stay when it would be easier to leave, in the tiny acts of care they never talk about, in the silence that speaks louder than words. If you've ever wondered whether an avoidant in your life truly loves you, this video will give you the clarity you've been searching for. Because while their love may not be obvious, it is real, it is powerful, and it's written in subtle signs most people miss. Today, we're uncovering 9 hidden ways an avoidant shows love without saying a single word. Watch closely, because once you learn these signs, you'll never mistake their quiet devotion for indifference again. Sign 1. They stay. For most people, staying close to someone they love feels natural. But for an avoidant, staying is not natural. It's revolutionary. Their entire system is wired to pull back the moment intimacy feels too real. Closeness feels like danger, and their instinct is to run. Yet when love takes root, they resist that impulse. They may step away for a while, needing space to breathe, to regulate the flood of emotions that overwhelm them. But notice this. They don't disappear completely. They circle back. They show up again, sometimes quietly, sometimes inconsistently, but always with intention. To an avoidant, this act of returning is monumental. It's their way of saying, "You matter enough to challenge my own fears." They won't text you at midnight with dramatic confessions. They won't promise you forever in flowery words. Instead, they'll keep finding ways to remain tethered to you, even if from a safe distance. And in their language of love, that staying, imperfect, hesitant, but real, is louder than any declaration. Sign 2. They let you into their routine. Avoidants guard their personal world like a fortress. Their routines, their spaces, their daily rituals, their sacred ground, carefully designed to keep others at a distance. Yet when love quietly slips past their defenses, something changes. They begin to let you in. It may not look like a grand invitation. Don't expect candlelit dinners or sweeping gestures. Instead, it shows up in small, intimate openings. They mention a childhood story they've never told anyone. They take you to the coffee shop where they think best, or the quiet trail they walk when their mind feels heavy. These aren't casual invitations. They are acts of trust. For someone who's built walls their entire life, letting you step into the rhythm of their world is no small thing. It means they've carved out a place for you in their carefully controlled environment. In their language of love, it's not about sharing everything. It's about sharing something real, something private. And that offering, however subtle, is their way of saying, "You matter enough to see me as I truly am." Sign 3. They show love through actions, not words. When an avoidant loves you, don't expect endless declarations or romantic speeches. Words feel dangerous to them, too exposed, too fragile, too easily misunderstood. Instead, they speak a quieter, steadier language. Action. They may not say, "I love you," but they'll drive across town to fix something small for you. They'll remember your favorite snack and leave it for you without drawing attention. They'll anticipate your needs before you even voice them. These gestures may seem ordinary on the surface, but in truth, they're love letters written in silence. For an avoidant, actions are safer than words. Words can be rejected. Actions endure. Each thoughtful deed is their way of holding you close without risking the vulnerability of direct confession. It's not that they don't feel, it's that they feel too much. So if you notice their quiet presence in the background of your life, smoothing obstacles, creating ease, offering support, they're not just helping. They're loving you in the way they know best, consistently, silently, and with more depth than they dare to say aloud. Sign 4. They listen deeply. When an avoidant loves you, they may not always respond with warm words or outward affection. But if you look closer, you'll notice something remarkable. They listen. Not just politely, not just to fill silence, but with a kind of reverence. They remember the way you take your coffee. They hold on to that small story you shared about your grandfather. They catch details most people would let slip away. And though they might not react with excitement in the moment, their actions later reveal the truth. They heard you fully. Listening for them becomes intimacy. It's how they stay close without exposing themselves to the risk of overwhelming emotion. When they replay your words in their mind, when they weave those details into how they treat you, it's their unspoken way of saying, "You matter to me, so pay attention." If their silence is filled with remembering, if their distance is lined with presence, you're not dealing with indifference. You're witnessing love in one of its quietest and most powerful forms. Sign 5. They get uncomfortable around you. It may sound strange, but when an avoidant is falling in love, they often become uneasy in your presence. Not because they don't care, but because they care so deeply, they don't know what to do with the weight of those emotions. You might notice them stumbling over words, becoming unusually quiet, or even pulling back when things feel too close. To the outside world, it can look like indifference, but in reality, it's the opposite. Their heart is racing, their defenses are clashing with their desire, and that tension leaks out as awkwardness. For someone who has spent a lifetime guarding themselves against vulnerability, love is terrifying. It shakes the walls they've carefully built. So when they fidget, retreat, or seem distant, it's not absence. It's processing. They're trying to breathe in emotions that feel overwhelming. If you see this in them, don't mistake it for rejection. Sometimes discomfort is simply love, raw and unpolished, fighting its way to the surface. Sign 6. They become protective, not possessive. When an avoidant loves you, they may not shower you with grand declarations, but their quiet protection speaks volumes. It's not about control, jealousy, or ownership. Instead, it's about ensuring you feel safe, supported, and shielded in ways they might never put into words. You'll notice it in small, practical gestures. If you're struggling, they'll step in to fix what they can. If you're uncomfortable, they'll try to ease the tension. They might not hold you and promise the world, but they'll quietly research solutions, offer tools, or find ways to lighten your load. For someone who avoids emotional entanglement, this protective instinct is profound. It means your well-being has become their priority, even above their fear of closeness. They may not always know how to sit with your pain, but they will do everything in their power to make it easier for you to bear. This isn't possession, it's love translated into action. A love that says, "I want you safe, even if I can't always say how much you mean to me." Sign 7. They apologize, awkwardly. For someone with an avoidant heart, apologies don't come easily. Admitting fault feels like surrender, like opening a door that threatens their carefully guarded independence. But when they love you, something changes. The fear of losing you begins to outweigh the fear of being vulnerable. Their apologies may not sound polished or poetic. You won't hear long, sweeping speeches. Instead, it might come out as a quiet, almost hesitant whisper. "I didn't mean to shut down," or "I just needed space. But I wasn't trying to hurt you." Simple words, but heavy with meaning. This is monumental for an avoidant, because in that moment, they're not just admitting they were wrong, they're risking the very exposure they've avoided for years. Each apology is an act of courage, proof that you matter enough for them to lower their guard. So when they stumble through an awkward, "I'm sorry," don't dismiss it as small. For them, it's not small at all. It's love, trembling but real, finding its way through the cracks of fear. Sign 8. They struggle with jealousy. Avoidants aren't the type to openly admit jealousy. They won't cling, they won't beg, and they won't say, "I'm scared of losing you." Instead, their jealousy hides in subtle shifts, a sudden coolness in their tone, a sarcastic remark that cuts deeper than it should, or an odd distance that leaves you wondering what went wrong. This isn't about control, it's about fear. Fear of being replaced, fear of not being enough, fear of letting themselves need you, only to watch you slip away. For someone who has spent a lifetime building walls, jealousy is the crack they can't quite hide. You may not see dramatic outbursts, but you'll feel the energy change. They'll withdraw, not because they don't care, but because they care so much it unsettles them. And yet, if you look closely, you'll notice the quiet longing behind the coldness. Their jealousy is a paradox. It pushes you away, even as it reveals just how deeply they want to keep you close. Sign 9. They love you in silence long before they say it. With avoidance, love doesn't arrive in loud declarations or grand gestures. It often begins in silence, unspoken, guarded, yet deeply alive. They'll carry you in their thoughts long before they ever dare put it into words. They'll notice your moods, remember the smallest details, and feel your absence more than they'll ever admit. But silence for them isn't emptiness. It's protection. They're testing the ground, making sure their heart won't be shattered if they step forward. For someone who has lived behind emotional walls, even acknowledging their feelings to themselves is a quiet revolution. If you find an avoidance still showing up, still doing the small things, still orbiting your life even without saying, "I love you," don't dismiss it. That presence is louder than words. When they finally do speak the truth, it won't be casual. It will be the result of an internal war, one they fought just to let you in. Their silence, paradoxically, might be their most powerful confession. They've loved you all along. Love doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it whispers in silence, in presence, in the little things we overlook. If this video opened your eyes, support the channel, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware.